So let us start with the mm, lateral load analysis of reinforced concrete building. So we are starting with this lateral load analysis of reinforced concrete building. For that we will use IS 1893 Part 1 2016 code. The code name is Criteria for Earthquake Resistant Design of Structures. As I explained earlier also that the load, I mean the design load codes are available, and that is IS uh, 865 part 125, where part 1 is for dead load, part 2 is for live load, part 3 is for wind load, part 4 is for snow load, and part 5th is for special load and load combination. And the earthquake load is also one of the main load that you need to consider for your building design, and for that the separate code is available, and that separate code is IS 1893 part 1 2016. This 1893 is having four part 1 2 3 4, and this part 1 is for general provision and for the building, for water retaining structure and for other special structure. This earthquake load is given in part 2 3 and 4. So title of this code is Criteria for Earthquake Resistant Design of Structure. Now what we will do from this code is we are going to find that what will be the load, earthquake load is acting on the structure in reinforced concrete structure, how the earthquake loads comes, right? So this is not the design code, this one is the code from where you can find the load, or in terms of earthquake load, or you can say the horizontal or lateral force acting on the structure due to earthquake. Now with starting with this 1893 code, different terminologies are given here in this three, that is terminology is given, and here it is mentioned what I discussed, that other than the earthquake load the other loads are given in IS 875 part 1 to 5. Now the different terminologies are there. Slowly as the course will go, you will see, you will study the each and every terminology in depth. Starting with very first, right now we are going to see the first terminology, and that terminology is 3.8 epicenter. I think Bhargav sir has covered this part, that what you mean by epicenter. So it is the geographical point on the surface of earth vertically above the point of origin of the earthquake, that is called the epicenter, right? Then you have studied the next terminology, that is intensity of earthquake. What is intensity of earthquake? It is the measure of the strength of ground shaking manifested at a place during the earthquake, and it is indicated by the Roman capital numerical, that is MSK scale of seismic intensity. And in this annexure D, the different intensity is given. Here this is Annex D, right, where MSK intensity scale is given, and these scales are running from scale number 1 to scale number 12, and for each and every scale you will feel the different intensity of earthquake, right? So for that intensity scale, I hope you have studied this part also in your theory, that the structure is divided into three part: type A building, type B building, and type C building. What is type A building? Type A building is the building in field stone, that is building made up by the stone material, some rural structure, unburnt brick houses, clay houses, all these are lies in type A building. What is type B building? Type B building is ordinary brick building, buildings of large block, prefabricated type, half timber structure, building in natural bone stone. So all these buildings are lies as or categorized as type B building. And what is type C building? Reinforced concrete building, well built wooden structure. Right. So generally here in this subject we will deal with this reinforced concrete building and the ordinary or masonry masonry building. Right. So this the categorize of the building is as type A, type B and type C. Then the classification of damage to the building. Now the earthquake will give the force to the structure. So how the structure is getting damaged due to that earthquake and how much damage is there, that classification is taken classified as grade 1 to grade 5, means how the damages are taken place in any of this type A, type B and type C building, in which range of the damage. Right, so grade 1 is slight damage, a very small damage is observed. So how the small damage you can categorize: fine cracks in the plaster, fall of small pieces of plaster, that is categorized as slight damage due to earthquake. Only you can see the cracks in the plaster, outer plaster, then some uh, piece of the plaster is falling, so that lies into the very slight damage of the building, and that damage is known as grade 1 damage. Then in grade 2 damage, moderate damage. So in what will happen in moderate damage? Small cracks in walls, fall of fairly larger piece of plaster, then pentellite slip off, then cracks in chimneys, part of chimney fall down. So these are categorized as grade 2 moderate damage. So when after earthquake, post earthquake, if any building is damaged and if you are going for the inspection about the how much percentage, or okay you can say how the building get affected due to that earthquake, that you can see, you can observe by seeing the damages in the main part of the building, that is main element of the building, slab, beam, column, footing or walls, or in furniture. So this you can do by observing this type of damages in the building. Then grade 3 is the heavy damage, large and deep cracks in the walls. The whole wall, the cracks are propagating from throughout the width of the wall. Fall of the chimney, that chimney here in terms of reinforced concrete chimney. Then grade 4 is destruction, very much damages are there. So gaps in the wall, part of the building may collapse, separate parts of the buildings lost their cohesion. That means two buildings are separate with some distance. So if that gap between the two buildings are reducing, so that is also known as the cohesion. Cohesion means interaction, or you can say the bonding between the two buildings because of the smaller distance between the two buildings. And inner wall collapse. So this all are known as the destruction. And grade 5 is the total damage. Total damage means total collapse of the building. So once after post earthquake, if you are going for the inspection that due to this particular earthquake, how much damage is taking place in masonry building, in reinforced building, in what extension, then you can see by this category. Now, this MSK intensity scale, that is intensity scale is from 1 to 12, right? And this the following introductory letters 1, 2 and 3 have been used. 1 means person and surrounding. Now this intensity of earthquake, how it affect on the persons and surrounding. Second, how it affect on structure of all kind. And third, how it affect on nature. Depend on that, this all things are noticed on 1, 2 and 3 with how much damage is into each respectively, that you need to see. The very first intensity is smaller, means the smaller number means the smaller damage. Higher number means higher damage. So intensity scale 1 is very small intensity compared to the 12 intensity. Right. Magnitude is only the uh, uh, qualitative, where magnitude is the only one value that you are facing, that magnitude 6.7 earthquake is taking place or 6.7 earthquake strike, but intensity for that 6.7 magnitude earthquake is different at the different site, right? So if any epicenter of the earthquake is in Bhuj, but the effect of that Bhuj earthquake of 6.7 intensity, 6.7 magnitude is observed in Delhi or in other region is differently with respect to this intensity scale, right? So this you need to keep in mind, that the intensity is qualitative measure of the earthquake. Why qualitative? Because that is different at different places, but magnitude is the quantitative, where you can see that magnitude 8 earthquake, magnitude 7 earthquake, right? So intensity 1 is not noticeable. Now not noticeable, so one number is set for the person and surrounding. So the intensity of vibration is below the limits of the sensibility. The tremor is detected and recorded by seismograph only. Now, if I think you are aware that what is seismograph. Seismograph is an instrument which will capture the ground acceleration. So, or the data or the time history of the earthquake. So this is noticeable on the seismograph only, but the person or surrounding is not noticeable by this intensity 1 earthquake, right? And there is no effect on 2 and 3 category. 2 and 3 category means structure and the nature. There is no effect on structure, there is no effect on nature. Same way, this kind of intensity 1 to 12 and uh, the effect on category 1, category 2 and category 3 is given in annexure D. At your convenient time, just go through this 1 to 12 scale, so that you can see that at which scale, in which category, how much damages are observed, so that you can see. Just let me quickly go through this category 2, that is scarcely noticeable, very slight in terms of vibration is felt only by individual people at rest in houses, especially on upper floor of the building. If you are standing on upper floor, then only you can feel this intensity 2 earthquake. No effect on category 2 and category 3. Then category 3 is weak, partially observed. Then category 4 largely observed. Then category 5 awaking, right? Category 6 frightening. Now here you can see in category from fifth, you can see the effect in first part, then second part, and then third part, right? Now see over here how the person can observe, that is in your first part. Then in second, slight damage in type A building. So here you need to see type A building is your this kind of building. So you know this intensity 5, you can see the behavior of damaging type A building. Right, then slight waves on standing water, sometimes changing in flow of the springs. Right, same way over here also you can see the damages in 1, 2 and 3 all. Damages of building here in 7, damages of building. This intensity will give the damages on the building. Now here you can see that in many buildings of type C. What is type C building? Type C building is your reinforced concrete building और well built wooden structure. तो वहाँ पे कौन सा होगा डैमेज? ग्रेड 1 डैमेज you can observe. ग्रेड 1 डैमेज means slight damage you can observe, right? In many of the type B building, damage of grade 2, higher damage, and many of the type A buildings suffer damage of grade 3, few of grade 4. Means type A building is your this unburned brick masonry clay house building, so that may have more destruction or heavy damage. Likewise, you can see that how the buildings are damaged due to different scale of intensity, right? Here also you can see ground cracks to widths of up to 10 centimeter on slope and riverbank more than 10 centimeter. So this kind of destruction you can observe for variable intensity of the earthquake. Right. So at your convenient time, just go through this all scales so that you can identify how the earthquake damaged the different type of structure with different grade of failure, right? So that is all about this intensity of earthquake that just now we have discussed. Then next you need to understand about the term, and that term is known as, yes, this is seismic mass of a floor. Seismic mass of a floor. Now you need to remember one thing, that the gravity load is different and seismic mass or seismic load is different, right? How it different? So that definition is given over here. Simply dead load, live load, this wind load, right, are the sorry dead load and live load are the gravitational load which is applied vertically downward. These all loads are applied vertically downward, but this seismic load or wind load is your lateral load, right? That is the lateral load. So how to identify the seismic load or seismic mass? So what is that? It is the seismic weight of the flow divided by acceleration due to gravity. Now if you remember, this is the equation, force is equal to mass into acceleration, right? So force is here in terms of inertia force. So inertia force is equal to seismic mass into acceleration due to seismic force, right? So here what is mass? Mass is equal to seismic weight of the structure divided by acceleration due to gravity. So mass is equal to W divided by G. Right. So this is the equation for definition of the seismic mass of a fluid. And here W is the seismic weight of the fluid. So the seismic weight calculation is done or is considered to be the lump mass method. Lump mass method means what? Or lump mass analysis. So generally when you deal with the building design, in building design what you are doing, you are transferring your slab load into the beams, main beam or supporting beam, and from beam to column, right, and column to footing. So this is the general gravitational load design, load calculation or the transfer mechanism for the building, reinforced concrete building. That means slab load you are going to transfer to beam, beam to column, and column to footing. This is only for, this is considered for the gravitational load. Gravitational load means dead load and live load. For that you are considered this load path mechanism. But when you are dealing with your RC building design for earthquake load, as earthquake load is the lateral load, so load transfer mechanism for earthquake load is known as lump mass method or lump mass analysis. Now what is this lump mass analysis? This lump mass analysis is, this lump mass analysis is where, if this is your building, if this is your frame building, right, this is your building, So if this is your three-story building, story 1, story 2 and story 3, and this building is having slab, building is having columns, building is having beams, building is also having the wall. So if this kind of building is there, and if you want to do the design of this building for earthquake load also, then this building is converted into the lump mass model. Now what is that lump mass model for earthquake analysis? That for each and every floor, floor, you are consider that the load is concentrated at the center of mass only. Means for each and every floor you are considering the mass of that particular floor and concentrated at the center of mass, right? Means each and every floor is behave like a single unit, and you are finding the load of each and every floor and transferring to the center of mass point. So if I want to draw lump mass model of this building, so that will be behave that will see like this. So this is your level of first, level of second एंड लेवल ऑफ थर्ड. देन दिस फ्लोर, ये जो फर्स्ट फ्लोर है आपका यहाँ से यहाँ तक का, ये फ्लोर का जितना भी टोटल वेट है, वी विल सी लेटर ऑन हाउ टू फाइंड दिस टोटल वेट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर फ्लोर. सो ये फ्लोर का जितना भी वेट है वो आप कॉन्सेंट्रेट करोगे एट वन सेंटर पॉइंट, center of mass point of that particular floor. So I am just assuming that this is my mass of this particular first floor and which is acting at the center point. So ये यहाँ से मिलेगा. Same way for second floor, again the weight is concentrated at one point. So ये है मेरा weight, और same way थर्ड फ्लोर के लिए भी ये मेरा weight है. ठीक है. So this is my, just I'm assuming considering mass only. So this is my mass 1 for first floor, mass 2 for second floor and mass 3 for third floor. And the stiffness, that is the column stiffness. stiffness कहाँ से मिलेगी हमें? कॉलम में से जो भी वर्टिकल मेंबर है that will provide the stiffness, right? So तो ये जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर है, ये ग्राउंड फ्लोर का जो स्टिफनेस है, टोटल स्टिफनेस, वो मैं यहाँ पे मेंशन करूँगी केवल. फिर ये फ्लोर का जो भी टोटल स्टिफनेस है फर्स्ट और सेकंड के बीच का, आई एम राइटिंग ओवर हियर. एंड ये जो मेरा थर्ड फ्लोर का स्टिफनेस है सेकंड और थर्ड के बीच का, वो मैं यहाँ पे. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द लंप मास मॉडल. सो ये जो बिल्डिंग है मेरी, जिसमें स्लैब भी है, बीम भी है, कॉलम भी है, वॉल भी है, दैट आई हैव कन्वर्टेड इनटू द लंप मास मॉडल. This I have converted into lump mass model. So this is called the lump mass model, where individual floor weight or mass is concentrated at one point. ये second point, ये third point. So comparing with the gravitational load analysis, in that the slab load, आप क्या करते थे? Slab load is transferred to beam, beam to column and column to footing. But here in earthquake, the each and every floor weight is concentrated at that floor only, and the stiffness value of each and every floor you are mentioning, and this is called the lump mass model. Same way, if you have two-story building or single-story building, if this is your single-story building, right, जिसका भी यहाँ पे स्लैब है, बीम्स है, सपोज कॉलम है, ऑल एलिमेंट्स आर देयर, देन इसका लंप मास क्या होगा? दिस विल बी योर लंप मास. वो सिंगल बिल्डिंग, तो ये पूरा जो सिंगल स्टोरी का वेट है वो यहाँ पे एक सेंटर पे concentrate होगा. We will see the definition of center of mass also and how to find center of mass later on. So यहाँ पे concentrate होगा, तो यहाँ पे ये मेरा mass यहाँ पे concentrate होगा. So this is my mass value. and ये जो vertical element है, जितने भी vertical element है, that vertical element may be of column, that may be of masonry wall, that may be of shear wall. तो वो उसका जो भी स्टिफनेस होगा वो मैं यहाँ पे लिखूंगी. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द लंप मास ऑफ माय सिंगल स्टोरी बिल्डिंग. सेम वे यू कैन डू द any of the floor lump mass model, right? So this is the way. And the force, the earthquake force is acting in lateral direction. तो ऐसे lateral direction में earthquake force आता है. ऐसे lateral direction में at each and every floor you will find the lateral force or the shear force value. That also we will see in the example, right? And due to this force, now your building will move like this. ऐसे building move होगा. तो जो भी आपका मास है वो मास भी यहाँ से ऐसे मूव होगा, right? So this will be the behavior of your building due to the earthquake force, right? And this will give the displacement. कितना building displace होगा वो, right? So this is about the lump mass. तो यहाँ पे ये जो है तो seismic mass of the floor, so mass is equal to seismic weight divided by G. M is equal to W by G. Right. Now this is about mass of the floor. Floor का मतलब MI WI. I means number of floor. So first floor के लिए M1 is equal to W1 upon G. Second floor के लिए M2 is equal to W2 upon G, like this. Right. Now this is all about the seismic mass of floor. जितने भी फ्लोर है उसके आप seismic mass find कर सकते हो. Now what is seismic mass of structure? Seismic mass of structure is it is the seismic weight of structure divided by acceleration due to gravity. Now here ये M1 M2 M3 like this Mn तक आपने मास फाइंड कर लिया. अभी पूरे बिल्डिंग का सपोज ये बिल्डिंग है 1 2 एंड 3 फ्लोर, तो उसका पूरे बिल्डिंग का सिस्मिक मास क्या होगा? सो कैपिटल M इज इक्वल टू कैपिटल W अपॉन G. सो इज इक्वल टू क्या होगा? W1 प्लस W2 प्लस W3 डिवाइड बाय G, like this. So you will get the total mass of your building. ये इंडिविजुअल मास ऑफ फ्लोर होगा और सबका समेशन करोगे यू विल गेट द टोटल मास ऑफ द बिल्डिंग. कैसे फाइंड करना है? फॉर दैट वी विल सी द एग्जाम्पल. आफ्टर दिस सम थियरी पार्ट, all the things you need to do in terms of example only. This is for your understanding. Now how to find this seismic weight. ये W कैसे find करना है, right? So how to find that? For that the definition is it is the sum of dead load of floor. Here this floor means slab. Sum of floor means slab. Weight of slab. Then appropriate contribution of weight of column. The term here appropriate means what? Here term appropriate means what? We'll see in 1 or 2 minutes. So slab plus column. So seismic weight of floor means weight of slab plus appropriate amount of weight of column. We will see what is appropriate. Then walls. So plus wall. उसका भी appropriate. And any other permanent element from the story above and below. Right, above and below means what? Slab, column plus wall plus any of the other permanent element. So here in other permanent element you can consider shear wall also, right? So this is masonry, here shear wall. right? Shear wall main purpose is only to resist the lateral force. Shear wall will not take the gravity load. Remember this thing. So shear wall purpose is to resist the lateral force in its stronger direction only. This also we will see in example, that how you can consider shear wall stronger direction and weaker direction. So slab plus column plus this. Now whatever is this vertical element, all this vertical element load are transferred above and below of the section. Now how you can consider that part? So I will discuss that part over here. That suppose this is your building. This is your building, one bay building, BAY, one bay. Right. And suppose this is your 3 floor. Now this building is having slab also, having beams also, having masonry wall also, right, and column. Now how these loads are transferred for the vertical member? If we are talking about this floor, अगर ये फ्लोर की बात करें तो ये फ्लोर पे कौन कौन सा वेट आएगा? Just I'm finishing the last statement of this. Then finishing and services and appropriate amount of specified imposed load on the floor. बराबर, तो इतना लोड आपको लेना है, स्लैब का लोड प्लस कॉलम प्लस आपको लेना है बीम प्लस स्लैब होगा तो फ्लोर फिनिशिंग जो भी लोड होगा वो भी लेना है, प्लस लाइव लोड. ये सबका एडिशन करोगे आप, देन यू विल गेट द सिस्मिक वेट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर फ्लोर. तो ये जो है, ये पूरा जो जितना टर्म है, स्लैब प्लस कॉलम प्लस वॉल प्लस बीम, तो ये होगा आपका डेड लोड. ये पूरा डेड लोड है. और अप्रोप्रिएट अमाउंट ऑफ लाइव लोड, अप्रोप्रिएट क्यों बोला है, दैट ऑल्सो वी विल सी इन 1 or 2 minutes. सो डेड लोड प्लस लाइव लोड का एडिशन करो तो आपको टोटल फ्लोर का वेट मिलेगा, टोटल फ्लोर का वेट मिलेगा. बट हियर अगेन द स्लैब लोड, तो ये पूरा जो स्लैब लोड है वो आप कंसिडर करोगे. फिर अप्रोप्रिएट अमाउंट ऑफ वर्टिकल लोड का मतलब क्या हुआ, ये जो फ्लोर है, ये फ्लोर के ऊपर भी एक कॉलम है, यहाँ पर भी कॉलम है और यहाँ पर भी है. मतलब दिस फ्लोर इज कनेक्टेड विद द कॉलम अबव ऑफ द फ्लोर and below of the floor. So the effect of the column on this floor is distributed half on both the side. Means कि ये जो कॉलम है ऊपर का कॉलम, उसका हाफ वेट और उसके नीचे का कॉलम का हाफ वेट, ये जो इतना पोर्शन है ये वेट ट्रांसफर होगा आपके ये फ्लोर के ऊपर. राइट. सेम वे फॉर ऑल दिस 4 कॉलम, चारों कॉलम का इतना वेट आपके ये फ्लोर पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा. मतलब जो भी वर्टिकल एलिमेंट है, वर्टिकल एलिमेंट का लोड हाफ अबाउ द फ्लोर एंड हाफ बिलो द फ्लोर ट्रांसफर होगा. ठीक है, तो ये ऑल दिस फ्लोर्स आर ट्रांसफर टू दिस फ्लोर, इतना ही पोर्शन. राइट. देन जो बीम होगा वो बीम का, तो यहाँ पे सपोज कोई बीम होगा, सपोज यहाँ पर बीम है, ये चारों साइड, तो ये बीम का लोड भी ट्रांसफर होगा, मतलब बीम का लोड भी ऐड होगा. सो दिस स्लैब लोड, देन कॉलम का लोड कितना होगा, दिस पोर्शन ऑफ कॉलम लोड. कैसे करना है वो एग्जांपल में हम देखेंगे. देन अगर वॉल होगा, ये कॉलम है, वहाँ पे वॉल है, आप मतलब ये जो बीम है वहाँ पे आपकी वॉल होगी, तो वॉल भी वर्टिकल एलिमेंट है, तो वॉल का लोड भी हाफ हाफ ट्रांसफर होगा इस तरीके से ही। फिर अगर शेयर वॉल है तो शेयर वॉल का लोड भी इस तरीके से ट्रांसफर होगा। बीम है तो बीम तो हॉरिजॉन्टल मेंबर है, तो बीम का लोड भी ट्रांसफर होगा, प्लस अप्रोप्रिएट अमाउंट ऑफ लाइव लोड। वो जितने भी लोड है वो यहाँ पे होंगे। सेम वे अगर ये फ्लोर लिया आपने, ये फ्लोर लिया तो ये फ्लोर पे स्लैब का लोड ये होगा, इतना आपका स्लैब लोड होगा, ठीक है। फिर यहाँ पे आपका आएगा बीम का लोड। बीम का लोड आप ऐड कर दोगे, कैसे ऐड करना है वी विल सी एन एग्जांपल। तो बीम भी ऐड कर दोगे। फिर होगा कॉलम का लोड। तो कॉलम का लोड कैसे होगा, देखो ये फ्लोर, ये जो फ्लोर है उसके अबाव भी कॉलम है, मतलब ये कॉलम है और यहाँ पर भी कॉलम है। तो ये फ्लोर का अबाव जो कॉलम है उसका हाफ और बिलो जो कॉलम है उसका हाफ, तो ये इतना वेट है वो ट्रांसफर होगा आपकी ये फ्लोर पे। इतना इतना पोर्शन का वेट आपको यहाँ पे ट्रांसफर करना है ये फ्लोर पे। ऑल 4 कॉलम का लोड आपको इतना ट्रांसफर करना है, ठीक है। एंड फिर लाइव लोड और बीम का ऐड करो। सेम में इफ दिस इज योर लास्ट फ्लोर, टेरेस है, रूफ है, तो ये स्लैब का वेट होगा, ठीक है। फिर कॉलम का वेट क्या होगा, अभी इसके ऊपर कोई कॉलम नहीं है, तो ये जो फ्लोर है उसके ऊपर कॉलम का इतना ही वेट आएगा, हाफ ऑफ द वेट, उतना ही जाएगा, ठीक है। तो रूफ पे ऊपर कोई फ्लोर नहीं है तो सिर्फ नीचे के फ्लोर का जो कॉलम है उसका वेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा यहाँ पर अबाव एंड बिलो, अबाव एंड बिलो। नाउ दिस, यहाँ पे जो हाफ नहीं मिला है, ये जो लोड कहीं पे ट्रांसफर नहीं हुआ है, इससे बोलते हैं मिसिंग मास, इसे बोलते हैं मिसिंग मास। क्योंकि ये लोड कहीं पे ट्रांसफर नहीं हुआ है स्ट्रक्चर में, ये वो लोड डायरेक्टली सॉइल में चला गया है यहाँ पे, ठीक है। सो इसको बोलते हैं मिसिंग लोड और मिसिंग मास, ठीक है। तो व्हाट इज मीनिंग ऑफ अप्रोप्रिएट अमाउंट ऑफ कॉलम का और वर्टिकल लोड, मीन्स जो भी अगर आपका जो जितने भी फ्लोर है, अभी मैं सिर्फ लाइन डायग्राम ड्रॉ करती हूँ ऐसे। तो अगर मेरी इतनी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग है, ठीक है, तो सपोज दिस इज माय फर्स्ट फ्लोर, सेकंड फ्लोर, थर्ड फ्लोर, फोर्थ फ्लोर, फिफ्थ एंड सिक्स, ठीक है। तो अगर फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे कॉलम का लोड कितना जाएगा, तो यहाँ से यहाँ और यहाँ से यहाँ, इतना जो है वो फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे जाएगा, ठीक है। सेकंड फ्लोर पे कितना जाएगा, तो सेकंड फ्लोर पे ये यहाँ से बाकी का ये जो ऊपर का है इतना पोर्शन, तो इतना मेरा सेकंड पे जाएगा। थर्ड फ्लोर पे कितना जाएगा, तो ये ऊपर का हाफ, नीचे का हाफ, तो ये मेरा जाएगा थर्ड फ्लोर पे, ठीक है। फिर फोर्थ फ्लोर पे यहाँ का ऊपर का हाफ, ये नीचे का हाफ, तो ये जाएगा फोर्थ फ्लोर पे। फिर अगर फिफ्थ पे लेना है लोड तो ऊपर का और ये, तो जितने भी आपके वर्टिकल एलिमेंट है, दिस इज नॉट ओनली फॉर कॉलम, जितने भी वर्टिकल एलिमेंट है, वर्टिकल एलिमेंट कौन कौन से होते हैं, कॉलम है, देन मेसनरी वॉल होंगे, अगर शियर वॉल है आपके स्ट्रक्चर में तो शियर वॉल। तो ये तीनों के लिए आपको लोड ट्रांसफ़र ऐसे करना है, हाफ अबाव हाफ बिलो। और अगर 6 फ्लोर पे जाएंगे तो 6 फ्लोर पे सिर्फ इतना ही लोड यहाँ पे ट्रांसफ़र होगा। तो ये ऐसे एरो बता के आप उसको शो कर सकते हो। और ये जो रिमेनिंग पोर्शन है इतना, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज मिसिंग मास, क्योंकि वो लोड स्ट्रक्चर पे नहीं जा रहा है। ये कॉलम कितने हाफ ऑफ द, सपोज ये 3 मीटर का है, हाइट ऑफ कॉलम, हाइट ऑफ फ्लोर इज 3 मीटर, तो 1.5 मीटर की हाइट का जितना भी वेट है वो डायरेक्ट सॉइल में जा रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड द मिसिंग मास। और बाकी का वेट जो भी कॉलम का है वो हमने डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दिया थ्रू आउट द फ्लोर, राइट. So that is the meaning of this appropriate term that I have explained in this. Appropriate का मतलब ये हुआ, right. Now appropriate amount of specific imposed load. तो अभी appropriate amount of specific imposed load का मतलब क्या हुआ? For that the code has given the value of live load to be considered for the earthquake load analysis, and that value is given in this table number 10, page number 20. Just write down in your notebook table number 10, page number 20, right. So how much amount of live load you are going to consider? Now for live load, IS 875 part 2 is given, right. So for residential building, live load is different. For school building, live load is different. For office building, live load is building. For hospital, live load is different. So the initial live load value you can get from IS 875 part 2, because this is you are calculating the seismic force, and seismic force is depend on mass and acceleration, right. So more will be the mass, more will be the inertia force, right. So the live load value consider for this is, so you can take IS 875 part 2 for live load. So whatever, if it is given that you are going to design school building, तो school building का live load आपको पहले लेना है IS 875 part 2 में से, right. Then whatever is that live load value depend on the imposed load uniformity distributed floor load. सो अगर वो लाइव लोड वैल्यू अप टू एंड इंक्लूडिंग 3 किलोमीटर पर मीटर स्क्वायर है, इफ योर लाइव लोड वैल्यू इज 3 किलोमीटर पर मीटर स्क्वायर, जनरली फॉर रेसिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग वी आर टेकिंग 1.5 और 2 किलोमीटर पर मीटर स्क्वायर. फॉर स्कूल बिल्डिंग, देन ऑफिस बिल्डिंग, हॉस्पिटल बिल्डिंग, द रेंजेस आर मोर देन 3, डिपेंड ऑन नंबर ऑफ पर्सन ऑक्यूपाइड दैट particular building. The different value of live load is given. So I have shown you the live load code also in last semester, so just refer that. So if that value, live load value is 3 or include up to and including 3, then you need to take 25% of live load only for your calculation. Means if your live load value is 4 kilometer per meter square for your office building or school building, but for earthquake load analysis, as it is more, as it is so sorry, not 4, I just, for the first example I am considering 3 kilometer per meter square, right. So as it is up to and including 3, so for live for earthquake load analysis, to find this uh, weight, seismic weight of floor, slab plus column plus beam plus live load, you need to consider only 25%. So 3 into 25%, right. So the 3 kilometer per meter square, उसका 25% you need to consider. So you for your case in earthquake load analysis, live load value is 0.75 kilometer per meter square only. So here when you are finding the seismic load, this live load value will be 0.75 kilometer per meter square only, not the 3 kilometer per meter square, right. Likewise if your value is above 3, अगर 3 से ज़्यादा है लाइव लोड, से फॉर एग्जांपल 4, तो आपको कितना लेना है, यू नीड टू टेक ओनली 25%, सॉरी 50%, मतलब 4 किलोमीटर पर मीटर स्क्वायर है. सो योर लाइव लोड वैल्यू फॉर अर्थक्वेक लोड एनालिसिस इज 2 किलोमीटर पर मीटर स्क्वायर, उसका हाफ ले लेना है, राइट. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द appropriate amount of live load for the seismic floor calculation, for the seismic floor calculation. तो यहाँ पे जो हमने seismic floor का calculation यहाँ पे जो अप्रोप्रिएट अमाउंट लिखा है दैट मीन्स you need to reduce the live load value for the earthquake load analysis, right? So this way you can find the seismic weight of the floor. Then seismic weight of the structure, तो वो क्या होगा? It is the sum of seismic weight of all the floor. Means if this is your weight 1, seismic weight of first floor, second floor and third floor, right? So summation W क्या होगा? Summation W means total weight of this building is W1 plus W2 plus W3. So this way you can find the seismic weight of the building. पहले आपको इंडिविजुअल फ्लोर का वेट फाइंड करना है और सबका एडिशन करो, देन यू विल गेट द सिस्मिक वेट. सो नॉर्मल वेट ऑफ द बिल्डिंग इज normal gravity weight of the gravity load on the building is weight of the slab plus weight of the beam, weight of the wall, weight of the column. वो होगा आपका एंड लाइव लोड, वो होगा आपका ग्रेविटी लोड का वेट, बिल्डिंग का वेट. बट what is seismic weight of the building or seismic weight of the floor? So that is the weight of the floor plus appropriate amount of vertical element load plus beam का load plus appropriate amount of live load. तो ग्रेविटी लोड में टोटल लाइव लोड आप कंसिडर करते हो, यहाँ पे रिडक्शन ऑफ लाइव लोड आएगा. In gravity load you are using total height of the column and adding all the column and finding the single load. यहाँ पे आपको each and every floor का weight find करना है. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Right. So let us start with a simple calculation to find the seismic weight of the building. So write down this uh, example. We will carry out the same example uh, for further calculation also. The very first we are just finding the seismic weight of the building. So if any terms, if right now if you are not understanding, then leave it, we will do step by step later on. So here plan and elevation of Plan and elevation of 4-story reinforced concrete office building is given. Number of stories are 4. Our interest right now is live load is given as 3 kN per meter square. Column dimension is given. Beam dimension is given. Thickness of slab is given. Thickness of wall is given. This highlighted or lining is only the interest for right now. In our case, all other parameters we will discuss later on, but right now we have only understanding of seismic weight of floor. That's why this line of things are only considered for this case, right? So just write down this data, full data. If you want you can write, because the same example we will continue throughout this lecture. Just don't worry about this all term if you are not understanding. Importance factor, that structure type, this we will discuss later on this zone. Okay. Done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now draw this figure. This is elevation of your building. 3-bay building, 7.5 meter, 7.5 meter, 7.5 meter is the distance between the bay. Bay means BAY. Right. So this building is looking like this. ऐसे होगा ये पूरा building. I hope you can right? And this is plan of the building. And the height of the floor is given as 3 meter. यहाँ पे लिखा है 3 मीटर. So 3 meter height of the floor. 3 meter. Right. Then this one is the plan of the building. Plan dimension, total dimension 22.5 meter. Here also 22.5 meter. And all these are the column. All these are the column. Right? Then the line joining column is your beams. तो ये सब आपके beam है. This all are the beams. ये पूरा आपका continuous beam है joining the column. यहाँ पर भी है beam. ये भी beam है. This is also this is also beam. ठीक है. और जहाँ जहाँ बीम है वहाँ पर आपके वॉल्स भी है. तो ये यहाँ पर सेम ये जगह पे आपके वॉल्स होंगे. जहाँ जहाँ बीम है वहाँ पे वॉल्स भी है. Now, as this is plan, I'm considering the sign convention as this is my x direction, this one is my y direction. So plan में ये x है, ये डायरेक्शन मेरा x है प्लान में, और ये डायरेक्शन मेरा y है. Right? चलो. Now what you need to do? Once you have your plan, you need to give numbering or notation to your structural element. Notation कैसे होगा देखो. This 4 column and beam is making the slab panel. यहाँ पे एक slab panel बना. This is my slab 1. ये मेरा बना है slab 1. Same way यहाँ पे भी slab 2, slab 3, slab 4. So the 4 column and beams are making my slab panel. Right. I'm just giving the numbering like 1 2 3 4 9. Though it is regular, आपका ये पूरा एक, अगर आपको एक पूरा स्लैब कंसिडर करना हो तो भी आप कर सकते हो. 22.5 by 22.5 का स्लैब, पूरा एक ही स्लैब. राइट. बट इफ योर बिल्डिंग प्लान इज इरेग्युलर, अगर ऐसा कोई बिल्डिंग का प्लान होगा इस तरीके से लाइक दिस, तो फिर क्या होगा, अगर यहाँ पे ऐसे कॉलम है, देन यू नीड टू कंसिडर द डिफरेंट स्लैब पैनल, क्योंकि तब आप एक पूरा वैल्यू नहीं ले सकते इस तरीके से. तो यू कैन कंसिडर ये फुल, उसके बाद ये, फिर यहाँ पे ये अलग लेना पड़ेगा. सो द मेक अ प्रैक्टिस टू हैव नंबरिंग टू ईच एंड एवरी स्लैब पैनल दैट इज फॉर्मिंग. राइट. अभी स्लैब का नंबरिंग हो गया, उसके बाद मैं बीम का नंबरिंग देती हूँ. तो बीम नंबरिंग आई एम स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम टॉप कॉर्नर ऑफ लेफ्ट कॉर्नर ऑफ योर प्लान. So I'm giving this number as B1, this is B2, This is B3. I am just giving numbering to x direction beams. Then B4, then B5, then B6, B7, B8, B9, B10, B11, B12. Again, if I want to give a single name to this three span continuous beam, then also I can do. ये पूरे को एक ही नाम देना है, then also I can do that B1, B2, B3, B4. Right? This convention, this nomenclature is depend on you how you want to give the number. तो B12 कर दिया हमने, ठीक है. देन अगर आपका कोई बीम इक्वल स्पान में नहीं है, यहाँ पे तो क्या है 7.5 7.5 7.5, सो यू कैन कंसिडर अ सिंगल बीम एंड फाइंड द वेट. बट अगर कोई किसी का लेंथ डिफरेंट होगा तो आपको उसको डिफरेंट नंबरिंग देना पड़ेगा. सो आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू द procedure how you can give the numbering. Then after, as per your uh, uh, thinking or as per your practice, you can give the numbering. I'm giving you both the way, both options is open for you. Either you can give a single number if your span is same, span value is same. Otherwise you need to give the different numbering. So for general purpose I am giving the numbering to the each and every beam. So B12. फिर मैं क्या करती हूँ, यहाँ पे मेरा जो y डायरेक्शन में बीम है उसको मैं नाम देती हूँ B13. दिस इज माई B14. दिस इज माई B15. फिर ये है 16, 17, 18. दिस इज 19, 20, 21. फिर ये जो बीम है यहाँ पे 22, 23, 24. जब आपका इरेग्युलर बिल्डिंग होगा देन यू विल feel that this numbering is good to give, right? But if your building is this regular building, you can give a single name to your x direction and y direction beams, right? So there are 24 numbers of beams available in this plan. 9 number of slab panels are available. Actually अगर देखने जाए तो क्या होगा आपका, ये ऐसा है आपका. एक्चुअली ये आप ऐसे ही कर सकते हो कि ये पूरा स्लैब है 22.5 बाई 22.5 का, ठीक है. फिर आप ऐसे भी कर सकते हो कि B1 है, फिर ये B2, ये B3 और ये B4, ये B5, B6, B7 एंड B8. तो आप 4 ही नाम दे सकते हो, ठीक है. फिर अभी आएगा वॉल. वॉल को भी आपको नंबर देना है. तो जहाँ जहाँ बीम है वहाँ वहाँ पे वॉल भी है. तो ये B1 नोटेशन बीम के लिए है. मेसनरी वॉल के लिए नोटेशन होगा MW1. फिर यहाँ पे होगा MW2, यहाँ पे होगा MW3. जितने बीम है उतने आपके वॉल होंगे. तो जैसे आपका B12 B24 बीम है वैसे ही आपका मेसनरी वॉल होगा MW1 टू MW24. उतने आपके वॉल होंगे, ठीक है. अगर आपको थोड़ा कम नंबरिंग देना है तो यहाँ पे कितने होंगे, B1 2 3 4 5 6 B1 टू B8 है. और वॉल के लिए MB1 MW1 टू MW8 ये आपकी वॉल होगी, ठीक है. आपके ये प्लान में स्लैब होगा एक ही स्लैब होगा इस वन, ठीक है. इरेग्युलर हो तो आप इतने सारे नंबर देना पड़ेगा आपको अगर स्पान चेंज है, स्लैब का एरिया चेंज है, ठीक है. बट अगर रेगुलर बिल्डिंग है देन यू कैन गिव दिस नंबर. और कॉलम, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू जनरल गाइडलाइंस, देन आफ्टर एज पर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग यू कैन डू. अभी कॉलम को भी मैं टॉप लेफ्ट से नंबरिंग दूंगी. C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8, C9, C10, C11, C12, C13, C14, C15, C16. तो कॉलम कितने हैं? C1 to C16 number of column, right? So before finding the seismic weight, you need to give numbering to your all element. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
तो नंबरिंग फॉर रेगुलर बिल्डिंग कैसे देना है आपको? दिस वन वन टू B1 to B8. सो विल टेक और विल गिव द नंबरिंग टू रेगुलर बिल्डिंग. अगर आपको समझ में आ गया है देन वी विल टेक. राइट, तो आप ये भी कर सकते हो. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग दिस एज B1, B2, B3, B4. ये होगा मेरा B5, B6, B7. ये पूरा स्लैब मेरा होगा स्लैब S1. ठीक है, और मेरा कॉलम होगा C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and જ્યાં બીમ છે ત્યાં જ વોલ. સો MW1, MW2, MW3, MW4, MW5, MW6, MW7, MW8. Right, because in tutorial I will give you irregular building. So in that case it is needed that you can give the numbering like this. ये मैंने बताया वो. Otherwise for regular building you can do like this. Any doubt, any confusion quickly?
No, ma'am.
Okay, once you have numbering of your plan, what next you need to do is you need to prepare one table, because it is very easy for you to understand if you prepare one table. So in that table what you need to do is you need to write first column as element. આ રીતે તમારે ટેબલ બનાવી દેવાનું. I am showing you in this. You need to prepare like this, huh? In your notebook also prepare like this. First is element, right? You need to write element. Element may be of slab, that may be of beam, that may be of column, that may be of masonry wall. શિયર વોલ હોય તો શિયર વોલ પણ લખવાનું. Then next column will be self weight. Next column will be self weight. Right. Then next column self weight પછી તમારે લખવાનું dimension. Self weight પછી લખો dimension. Right. Then next write down load in kilonewton. Load in kilonewton. Then एक मिनट. Right. So element, self weight, dimension, load. Then just make in this your notebook only this xi, write down xi, yi, wixi and wiyi. Right. What is this? We will discuss later on, but you just write down this thing. Elements, second column self weight, third column load, third column dimension, fourth column load in kilonewton, xi, yi, wixi, wiy. There you go. હમણાં આટલાની જરૂર છે એટલું હમણાં કરું. ચલો ચલો first element is slab. We will take first element as slab. Right. Now how to find self weight of slab? चलो फटाफट. How to find self weight of slab? This is in terms of kilonewton per meter. This self weight is in terms of kilonewton per meter. Dimension will be in meter. Otherwise लगता है. चलो फटाफट. How to find self weight of slab?
Density into dimension.
Density into dimension, right? So this is reinforced concrete element, so density is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. અને મેં તમને પહેલા પણ કીધું હતું સ્લેબનું સેલ્ફ વેટ ફાઇન્ડ કરવાનું હોય, then self weight of slab is density into thickness of slab, right? What is thickness of slab given?
150.
150 mm, right? So 0.150 meter. કેટલું થશે 25 into 0.150?
3.75.
3.75 unit will be 8 kilonewton per meter square. Right. Now this is the term dimension. Dimension માં શું આવશે? I require the load in terms of kilonewton. Load of the element in terms of kilonewton. Right. So this dimension for different element is different. Slab element છે તો સ્લેબનું વેઇટ કિલોમીટર પર મીટર સ્ક્વેર છે. એને કિલોન્યુટનમાં કન્વર્ટ કરવું હોય, that means you need to multiply with area of slab. Right. તમે જ્યારે બીમ કરશો, બીમનું સેલ્ફ વેટ શું થાય? ડેન્સિટી ઇન્ટુ એરિયા. બીમનું સેલ્ફ વેટ ખબર છે ને? ડેન્સિટી ઇન્ટુ એરિયા, ક્રોસ સેક્શન એરિયા, બી ઇન્ટુ ડી. તો બીમ માટે ડાયમેન્શન થશે બીમની લેન્થ, રાઈટ? કોલમનું સેલ્ફ વેઇટ શું? ડેન્સિટી ઇન્ટુ ક્રોસ સેક્શન ઓફ કોલમ. તો કોલમ માટે this will be height. Right, wall હશે તો પણ length. Means this dimension is variable with respect to which element, for which element you are finding the load. So here the dimension will be area of the slab. Area of the slab શું છે અહીંયા? 22.5 meter by 22.5. So this will be your area 22.5 into 22.5. કેટલા થશે?
506.25.
And unit will be mm square. So your load is equal to કેટલું થશે? 3.75 into 506.25
1898.
kilometer.
हाँ.
So this is your seismic weight of slab, 1898 kilonewton. Right? આવું ટેબલ તમારે 2-3 પેજના કરી દેવા પડશે. કન્ટિન્યુ આ ટેબલમાં જ બધું લખો. Right? So this is all about slab. This is about slab dead load. Right? This is your dead load. Now if any floor finish or anything is given, so that also you can write down over here itself, plus career. It is not given, so don't write. Chalo. Now if any irregular building is given, then તમારે સ્લેબને ટાઇટલ આપવાનું, અને ઇરેગ્યુલર બિલ્ડિંગ હોય તો S1, S2, S3 જે પણ નંબરિંગ કર્યા હોય, ફોર ધેટ પર્ટિક્યુલર S1 નો જે એરિયા હોય એની સાથે મલ્ટીપ્લાય કરો, S2, S3. થિકનેસ વિલ રિમેઇન સેમ, ધ ડાયમેન્શન વિલ ચેન્જ. ખ્યાલ આવ્યો?
हाँ मैम.
ચલો નેક્સ્ટ ઇઝ છે ને બધા? કન્ટિન્યુ રાખું or you have anything else to do? Is it okay if I continue or you want to take a break?
એમ જેમ કરવું એમ. 1 વાગે લેબ છે.
Okay, anyone? Ishan, Raj, Riddhi, Himani slash
ચાલશે મેમ.
એટલે કેરી એટલે કન્ટિન્યુ કરવું ઓર સ્ટોપ કરીએ?
મેમ નેક્સ્ટ લેક્ચર થી.
Okay, then I required one extra lecture because from last 2 weeks we have just postponed